Hi guys, today's video is about your dreams. This was a comment I recently had and I can't remember if I responded or if I just screenshot it, but I had it on my phone as a potential video idea and I thought today's a good time to do it. And I have a list of other video ideas, but I thought this is something different because I don't want to just keep making videos about just SP. And this one is going to be linked to SP as well, but it's more so about kind of self-reflection, analysis, answering a question that might be quite common in our minds, especially because we now know about conscious manifestation, that we are creators. So what do our dreams actually mean about those manifestations? And that's what I'm going to go over today. So please do thumbs up and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell if you enjoy. If you'd like to see more videos about interesting topics, slightly more nuanced or niche concepts like, analyzing your dreams. So of course you can look up what dreams mean, and sometimes it's really beneficial and it makes sense, but at the same time, as a manifestor, it might be better, or conscious creator I should say, it might be better to create your own meaning. But I'm going to get into what it means, how to interpret it, how you should handle it in this video, so please do stay tuned. I also offer coaching if you are interested in some one-on-one help, if you feel that's something you would benefit from. I do offer those services, so you can buy pre-made content where I will send you content, you download it, it's just for you to read over, go through, print out, do whatever you want with it. Or you can get actual, email written coaching with me where I answer all your questions. So that is all linked in the description box in my Instagram page, LOA Coaching, and you can get in touch with me there, read all the information there. So now getting into the video, what dreams actually are, my interpretation and understanding of what they are, and I'm not talking about a fully scientific or psychological interpretation here. There is obviously much more information and research and things that go into this. I'm talking more as a coach, my advice as a coach. But what my understanding is that dreams are mental imagery. So it's imagery that's coming up, I guess it's not, is it the conscious mind? Because we're unconscious at the time, so it's not us like physically thinking, it's just images going in your mind. Either way, it's connected to the subconscious mind, and it's mental imagery essentially flashing and circling through your mind as you're asleep. And I think it's quite random. There is no rhyme or reason as to why certain images come up, which is why dreams can be so weird. We might call up our friends, or I always write them down or tell my friends, send them voice notes being like, I had this crazy dream, you were in it, and this happened, and this celebrity. I've had the weirdest celebrity dreams. I might have to do a video on it one day. It's hilarious. But yeah, these crazy things that you would never think of visualizing and fantasizing about in real life, that just come up in the most random scenarios. And you're on a beach and this celebrity shows up, and then there's a volcano on the island, but then you start flying and unicorns are coming out of the sky and all sorts of weird random stuff, right? So what does that actually mean? Well, it comes from the mental imagery, so it's things that are already in your subconscious mind. I don't believe in dreams you could ever make up something new, and I've even read that in dreams, you always see people that you already know, so it's never a made-up imaginary face. Even if it's potentially a stranger that you looked at and it registered in your memory, you see only faces of people that you already know, which is why we often dream about people that are in our lives, celebrities we admire. Anything you focus on predominantly, I do believe, shows up the most in your dreams, and oftentimes what you've just been focusing on. So if you were reading a book before bed, it's likely something relating to the book will show up if you have a dream. I don't think we dream every single night. I feel like I do, which I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but I feel like every time I wake up, I remember some kind of dream I was having, even just like a faint outline. And also apologies for the lighting constantly changing. The sun is moving to and from the clouds constantly. Clouds keep coming over the sun, so yeah, the lighting is going to change a lot, so please just ignore that for now. But yeah, it can be things you've just been focusing on. For example, if you were watching a horror film that just before you went to bed, not a good idea at all, but let's say you did that, it's possible something from that could cause you to have a nightmare, whether it's the concept, an actor, the antagonist of the film, just the brutal things that happened in the film. Something could show up in your dream, even just if it led to your fear of, oh my gosh, I have this fear of falling, right? Like let's say in the horror film someone was falling off a cliff or downstairs or whatever the case may be. If you have a fear of that, or it could be even linked to, you know, the fear of falling could be the fear of not being protected, not being cared for, not being, not having anyone who would save you, right? It could be something really, really deep linking to your self-concept. Well, if that comes up, you might dream of that because that's a recurring nightmare, or not nightmare, but a recurring issue or fear that you've had for a while. And the horror movie kind of brought that out. And then you watched it right before going to bed, so it's at the forefront of your mind. You've been thinking about it and, you know, ruminating on it a little bit for the hours that you were watching the film. You might have thought about it right before going to bed still. So all these things can cause certain themes to come up in your dreams. So like I said, this is not a scientific definition. Some of you guys watching may have a better understanding of the meaning of dreams, the psychological effects, but that is my interpretation, and all of that makes sense to me because oftentimes I dream about things I was just reading or saying. If I loop affirmations before I go to sleep, sometimes that comes up in my dream and I feel like it's a really positive sign. But when it comes to overall dreams and in terms of manifesting, they technically have no meaning. You can be spending 12 hours a day affirming on your mental diet, visualizing, staying on top of the new story, and then you can have a nightmare. It does not mean, oh my gosh, okay, all that effort was for nothing. 12 hours of affirming wasn't enough. You're not going to get your desire. It's not happening. That's not the case. So a dream is just a dream, right? It was also, another fact that I read was that they only last maximum 20 seconds. It can feel like it goes on for hours. But apparently, if you think about it, when I explain what happens in the dreams, it can be summarized in just 20 seconds. So yeah, and you can have multiple dreams one after another, but apparently they cannot last any longer than absolute maximum 20 seconds. So that's an interesting fact. But really, it was just 20 seconds of you dreaming. It's just a dream you had during one night. It does not negate 3 months of work that you've put in. So don't panic, don't spiral, don't think, okay, I dreamt SP broke up with me and was with a third party. This means everything's messed up. He or she has probably moved on with someone else. No, do not fall down that spiral. It was just a dream inside of your mind. Even though the 3D reality is irrelevant, it's not like it even happened in the physical world. It didn't. It was just in your own mind. So don't panic. It's just picking up on imagery from within your mind. Sometimes, like I said, it can be quite arbitrary connections, like unicorns and a celebrity and what you ate for dinner, and then the argument you had with your boyfriend the day before, or your mum or your best friend, and all these things combined into one weird crazy dream, right? So don't try and overanalyze it because it's just not worth it for the one dream. Having said that, it can be a reflection of something you've thought about for a long time. So although it often picks out quite random imagery, there's no way, well, there is a way to control your dreams. You can manifest it, but when it's actually happening, it's pretty random. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with your beliefs or your thoughts, or that something's really wrong with your manifestation unfolding. That's not what it's implying. It can pick up on themes that you've been worried about. For example, if you keep dreaming that SP is with the third party, you know, you see him or her, I don't know, in a relationship, or tell you, I'm choosing that person over there, bye, and then they just like reject you and walk off in the dream. Still don't panic, still just keep persisting, because what matters is what you're doing when you're awake, okay? Just let yourself dream and sleep, and just deal with the time that you have when you're awake to put in the work. For example, if something that you've held on to is that SP rejects me, it can reflect into your dreams. So the only time that dreams should be acknowledged is if you recognize that it connects to something you feel insecure about, or if you know that SP broke up with you and it caused you to have a lower self-concept, have issues relating to rejection or not being chosen or not being a priority, things like that, which are often quite common. If you have any relationship issues, often I've felt these emotions myself of, you know, that someone may not choose you, or that you feel like someone is not prioritizing you. It comes up all the time, you know. You're not going to have a perfect relationship 24/7 with the people in your lives. So we've all gone through emotions like that, and it's just showing you, hey, this is still in your mind. This is still a concern in the back of your mind, in your subconscious, you're still holding on to this idea of being rejected. So in those instances, when you recognize it's a pattern and it's something you genuinely fear about in terms of your manifestation, that's when you can actually pay attention to it and be like, okay, what can I learn from this? How can I improve? And take the sign that my dream is showing me. First thing you want to do when you're actually experiencing this in the middle of the night, for me, at least if I have a nightmare, I usually wake myself up because I think I actually have the ability to lucid dream. Sometimes I'd be like, no, I don't like this. This is too much. Let's shift to this. I'm going to fly off here, or this room is going to actually change into a different room. If something bad's happening, I can usually wake myself up, or it's not like I'm consciously controlling it, but I recognize in my dream that I'm shifting it to something a bit better. So I think I can possibly lucid dream, but you don't need to be able to do that. It's fine. It'll be unpleasant for the moment that you're having an unpleasant dream. But when you wake up in the middle of the night, for example, all you need to do, relax, take a deep breath. You've awoken, you don't need to panic or worry. It was just a dream. It was not real. It has nothing to do with your manifestation, really. It was just one night of dreaming, so try not to panic or overanalyze it. Just take a couple deep breaths, relax, maybe go get a glass of water, go on your phone, distract yourself with Instagram, or go look through your photo albums, anything to just shift your mind and kind of shift your focus. And then just try and get back to sleep. Relax yourself, start looping an affirmation if you feel you need to. Anything to just calm your mind down and not panic and not keep looping that dream over and over. Be like, oh my gosh, this thing happened in the dream, and then they said this, and then this thing kept happening on loop, and oh my gosh, and you get this vivid visual of it. It's not going to benefit you at all to keep thinking about something negative. Obviously, if it was a good dream, this advice doesn't really apply, and you can assume it is a bird before land, a sign that things are working out. Apply a positive assumption, because that is what will benefit you. But in terms of negative dreams, I think is where we might start to panic and feel it does have an emotional effect on us, right? So if you wake up from a nightmare, whether it's in the morning or during the middle of the night, just try and relax yourself, calm yourself down. Don't even think about it. Stop thinking about it completely. And then the final piece of advice, if you really are struggling, if it's an issue you've just mentally started to overcome regarding your SP, for example, and it came up in the dream, revise it. Wake up as soon as you remember it and be like, oh my gosh, that was a dream, it was horrible. Revise it, be like, no, SP came up to me, there was no third party, they were on their own, and they said this, they said they love me, and then we went on a date, and blah, 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 whatever the case may be. Just revise it and tell yourself that, because eventually you will forget your dream. And I think oftentimes if you don't think about it as soon as you wake up, you will just start to forget it regardless. So don't panic, don't overanalyze one dream. If it's a positive one, apply the positive assumption, obviously, and tell yourself, great, this means everything's working. I had a lovely dream about SP and my manifestation, and now I'm going to loop that visual from my dream all day long because it made me feel really good. That's fantastic, but don't think that if you had a bad dream, it's the end of, don't assume it's the end of your manifestation or something's really wrong. It's okay that maybe it did feed into your subconscious fears. That's okay. You can keep working on them when you're awake. The next day you can spend, 30 minutes or an hour working on the issue that did come up in the dream if you feel you need to. But overall, don't apply tons of meaning to the dream. It was just a dream. And remind yourself that you're safe, okay? So if you had a nightmare, just say, you know what, I'm safe. I'm here in my bed. Everything's okay. I'm awake. I know it was a dream. I'll just forget it, refocus on something positive and then get back to sleep, and I'm sure I'll have a great dream, Do a little manifestation, speak it into existence. Like I said, if you really are struggling, revise it. Tell yourself that the positive thing actually happened and that negative dream is not at all what happened, and you only have amazing dreams. So what you can do if you find that it does connect to something you're fearing, such as rejection, that's usually the case, I think, with an SP. Doesn't have to be romantic SP, but any specific person, you might feel they would reject you, they wouldn't choose you, they aren't contacting you, they're ignoring you, whatever the case may be. If the dream reflected something that you genuinely are concerned about and that you're trying to change with your affirmations, write it down. Write down what you think the dream was telling you, what the concept was that caused you fear, flip it into a positive opposite, and probably you're already affirming something to target it. But if you're not, use that positive opposite statement as an affirmation, such as SP threw a birthday party and didn't invite me, and that might link to your fear of feeling rejected. You could say SP always invites me to events, or SP takes me on dates every day. Say that and start affirming that. Or you can do it just as self-concept. It doesn't have to be about the SP. It can be I'm everybody's favorite person. Because then if you're everyone's favorite person, you'll probably assume that they will treat you really well, they'll want to always include you, they really value you, they always want to be around you, because if you're their favorite person, of course. So it can be anything like that. So you can use it to create new affirmations and help you target something that you know is a subconscious fear. So overall, don't panic about dreams, leave them be, revise them if you need to. You can take some meaning from it, but don't assume that one nightmare suddenly means something's wrong. It doesn't. When you're awake the next day, I promise you'll forget about it during the day and you'll just keep going on as normal, and it's not a big deal. So hopefully all of this advice was useful, helped you guys get a better understanding of what dreams do and do not mean. Do thumbs up and subscribe and turn on the notification bell. I forgot the order there for a second. If you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Bye.